What's going on? Welcome to the Black Couch, and today we have Cierra House. All right, what's so special about this episode is last year, I did an episode that's called Just Start. And what's so significant about it is I was saying that you don't have to always wait for the perfect situation. You don't always have to wait till you have the funds. You don't always have to wait till someone come and help you start that idea that God placed in you. God give you an idea for a business or something to start. Just start. Like, don't be apprehensive. Don't think you can't do it. If He gave you the idea, just do it. You know what I'm saying? So Cierra actually is a testimony. She has a testimony that matched that very idea. So definitely stay tuned for the rest of the show to listen to Cierra's testimony and how she got from one place to where she is now. I also would like to announce that we are now, the Black Couch, yes, now is on Spotify. Yes, we finally made it to Spotify. So if you are listening by way of just audio and not watching the video at blackcouch.org, thought I'd throw that in there. You can definitely catch audio on Spotify. You can catch it on Apple Podcasts. You can also catch it on Google Play for you Android users. All right, cool. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel on blackcouch.org, or if you're on YouTube, #BlackCouch. Also, going back to the podcast, you can find us #BlackCouch on all three of those platforms. If you on Instagram, if you haven't followed us on Instagram, we're on _black_couch. Also on Facebook. So without further ado, let's get into Cierra House's story. Ladies and gentlemen, with Cierra, blessed in the house.
Blessed in the
house.
Blessed in the house.
So, okay, for those of you that didn't know, her real name is Cierra House. So when you see the logo and all that stuff, it's not just a slogan.
Yeah.
Her real name is Cierra House.
It is.
Yeah.
There's no wow factor as to how I got the name.
For real?
Yeah. It was just a name that I had on Facebook. At first my name was Blessed House or something like that. And I changed it to Blessed in the House. So it had been that forever.
Gotcha.
Even after I got saved. And then once I started actually doing music and things like that, people were like, well, what's your stage name? I'm like,
I need one of them, huh?
So I was like, I've been using Cierra Blessed in the House on Facebook, so I keep it. So I kept it until Facebook took it away.
Oh, yeah, you can have catcall names and nicknames and stuff.
They took it away from me, so now I have a artist page and then I have my personal page.
Gotcha.
So on there, I Cierra House.
So as an artist, like, how do you get into being an artist?
Artist?
Like, where did that come from?
Well, so I've always loved music since I was a teenager. Before a teenager, I was probably like 8. Youngest 8 is not 8 or 9 is when I remember. And I used to love music. I loved all types of music. It didn't matter if it was rock, reggae, rap, hip hop, R&B. But as far as my favorite, it was always R&B and rap. So growing up from about maybe 9 up until about 12, 13, 14, for me, it was a mixture of both. But my primary, of course, Destiny's Child. I was a huge Destiny's Child fan. Aaliyah, Jay-Z, not Tupac. I'm not like a real hip hop head,
Gotcha.
But Tupac. I was definitely a fan of Tupac, and there were a couple other people in my era that I just loved music. So I had been writing poetry and things like that, and I had always said I wanted to do something related to music because it was just in my heart.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, I don't know if I'll, I wouldn't necessarily want to be out in the front, like be an artist.
Gotcha.
But I write songs for people, just, I don't know. I just wanted to be in that environment.
Gotcha.
So it was something that was always in my heart. But once I got saved back in 2009, and I was really passionate about songwriting then, but being that I'm a Christian now, can't write about what you.
The story is different.
Your story's a little different. So I would write. I would still try to write, stuff that from like worldly, but
the secular music side,
I guess my perspective had changed since I was a Christian. So I'd read it and be like, "What in the world?"
Got you.
So I took maybe, it wasn't that long of a break, maybe like a few months or whatever, and I was like, I'm just not gonna do music.
Nah.
But I couldn't get away from it. So
it's in you.
It's in me. Wow. So, after, maturing as a Christian initially, getting word implanted in me and all of that, it's just like when I started writing, nothing would come out but just, me being my zealousness for God and wanting to talk about Christ and all of that. So, honestly, there were a lot of different things that kind of propelled me into becoming an artist myself, because I was still stuck on only doing songwriting. But I had a couple people. One person, I went to him, and I'm not going to say his name, but I went to him and asked him if he would mind if I wrote a song for him. And he was like, I think he read it and was like, why don't you perform this yourself? And I was like, no, I'm not an artist. I don't want to be out, I'd rather, be behind the scenes. And he's like, no, you could do it. I was like, I don't know. So that's seed number one, right? I went to another person, was just talking to him about songwriting, and he was like, yeah, songwriters, they can make a lot of money, and that's where the money is, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get into. And I'm like, well, why don't you, rap yourself? You rap, you write raps, you can rap.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think so.
So you just stuck on, like, basically songwriting was the thing, but did you have a fear of being an artist?
I did.
What were some of those fears? Was it I know, because it's a lot of work when you come down to, like, go straight from songwriting to artistry. So, like, was it the work that scared you, or was it just being in front of people? You didn't think you could do it?
I think it being in front of people. I've always been a background type of person. I never wanted to be in, like, scene. I still battle with it sometimes, which is crazy, being an artist, but just get shy in front of people. I don't think now, I guess you can't call it being shy, but I was terrified initially about getting in front of people. If I talk to anybody, like me and you having this conversation now, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't have done it.
You'd probably be trying to pull questions out of me. I'd be like,
oh man,
one word answers.
Oh man, wow.
Now I can just talk
because you got used to it. I got you.
But I mean, it was just intimidating for me to be an artist myself.
So how long you been doing artist thing?
Since 2013. I can tell you how that part happened.
Okay.
We skip a bunch of stuff, but that part is important because 2013, my church has this thing they do every now and then called the House of SWATA. SWATA is a women's ministry that we have called Spiritual Women Awakening to Authority.
Gotcha.
So they have this thing. It's kind of like open mic type thing. And they just want you, the women in the church come in and share your gift. So I had been writing songs for, at this point, 2009 to 2013. That long, I had all these songs I had written.
Wow.
Didn't do anything with it because I didn't want to be the artist. So they had an event 2013. I went to it very first time, getting on stage in front of anybody, performing one of my songs, and it was actually, I did it in the form of spoken word.
I always like those performances.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love spoken word. Poetry and spoken word is probably like what I should have been. But it's a little tricky now because sometimes the like the emphasis and all that, I'm not good with that. But I love poetry. I love it and spoken word.
Get it.
But I did it in that form, and when I did it, one of the ministry leaders for my church, for my the ministry I'm in, children's church, and which I had been in children's church since I started going to my church.
Gotcha.
But one of the ministry leaders came up to me and said, "I didn't know you could rap." She's like, you gotta come do this with the kids. We need you. I was like, you need me? You sure?
They go that apprehensiveness, huh? I don't think it's in me.
You sure you want me?
Got you.
This is my first time on stage ever. So
open up a whole lot of doors, though.
It did. That she asked me to do the Hallelujah night, which was literally a couple of weeks after that. I had to go in the studio to record a song. That was my first time ever in a studio.
Wow.
So it just started from there. It's like when I got in the studio, I kind of fell in love with the studio. Like, oh man, this is dope. It's my first time in the studio. I'm on the mic recording. So from there, it was just like, okay, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? And so over time, that's kind of how everything started progressing as far as me becoming an artist.
Gotcha.
But it was a bunch of seeds that were planted. Definitely got to give glory to God because I am not the person who you would think would be in like artistry and stuff like that. Because if you knew me back in school,
it's just
you're like, she's shy. She don't really talk.
Gotcha.
She's real. Yeah.
So you feel the fact that you like music, so much and always did like music. Do you feel like that was a gift that you always had, and this was the time that it became developed? Especially making a transition from where you were, and even the transition into being in Christ. That was a part of you that was birthed. Do you feel like that was a thing, or you feel like it was a different approach?
I would say I'm pretty sure it was always in me. I think it was a part of me feels like I had this like, I don't even know if this is correct to say, but like I had like an alter ego or something. Because the way I would feel on the inside, or I was attracted to extroverts, like just people in general, anybody who outgoing and things like that, because that's what I was. I felt like I was on the inside, but I just didn't show it.
Gotcha.
And so all of my friends, anybody who was friends with me, anybody who I attracted like around me was always,
the extroverts. Got you.
I think it was something that was in me, but it's just like, so I honestly, I just don't know. I just, that 2013 when that seed was planted, and she asked me to do that, and I was forced to go into the studio. That just kind of jump started everything.
Cool.
So I don't know. Can I shout out my church on here?
Sure. Shout out your church.
Shout out to Right Direction Church International. They play a huge part in just everything that's going on with me now. I mean, since that's my growth started there. That's where my growth started.
That's good.
It did.
That's good. It
did. When I first went there, I was a mouse. I was a mess in the world.
I get what you're saying.
I was. But I was a mouse, as far as speaking up and things like that. So they just
provided you the opportunity to pull what's in you.
Definitely.
And then, I mean, of course, from your story, you're saying like, once people saw you or gave you opportunity for you to do something that you was apprehensive at first, it's like, okay, they see something. Let's pull more. Let's pull more.
I even go through that now. Honestly. Anytime I have an opportunity to minister a song of mine or anything like that, there's always that, and in the flesh, there's always that me being timid, like, I don't know if I want to do this, but that's when you need God, you need Him. So I'll go up there, I could be as nervous as whatever, And people would be like, "Oh, you did so well," and I'm like, "Man, that was God, because it wasn't me.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
God,
I was sweating my shirt.
Yeah.
If
you can only know what was going on through my mind or what I had to go through in order to get to this point. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
So let's transition and talk about, ladies and gentlemen, Cierra is the prime example of what I was talking about on the episode last year, talking about just do it, just start. Let's talk about your venture and that whole process of going from something that you wanted to do to where you are now.
Okay,
that's the good stuff right here.
Oh, definitely.
That's the good.
Suburban.
Yeah. So let's talk. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
So, throughout that whole period of me doing music and things like that, it had always been a dream of mine to own recording studio. I told you I wanted to be somehow involved in entertainment, and I just knew that that's just something that I like. Everybody has their own thing that they like to do, that they like to be involved in, and I just didn't know how that was going to happen. Gotcha. But I'll fast forward to this year. Around this time, between January and about March. There was just certain things that was going on. I was thinking about my next levels and things like that, things I wanted to do. This is just a transparent moment. I shared it with a couple people, but not everybody knows. But there were people who I felt like, I was working a job, still am actually, but there are people who I felt like had side hustles and they had ways they could make money outside of work. And for me, I felt like I didn't have that, I would do events. Of course, sometimes you get paid, sometimes you don't. Right. Outside of the money I was getting from my music online, but, that's not like side hustle, like, this, you getting money. Yeah. So I was like, what could I do, And I think God spoke to me at some point and said, business. But I was just like, what business? What about business for what?
Wow.
Like, what kind of business?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm just like, whatever. So I remember specifically one day, it was like back in March, and I was riding through Orangeburg, which is where I work. And at the time, I was still trying to get familiar with the area because I had just started work prior, like a few months prior to that. Okay. And I was trying to get familiar with the area. So I was on my way home, and I was just taking a different route. And I was looking around, and it's like God was speaking to me. I would see different buildings, and I started just seeing things. And I'm like, whoa. And so it's like the seed was planted. God showed me that I would have a business. He showed me recording studio, right? But I'm like, I'm so far from that. Like, I don't have nothing. Nothing. I don't have no microphone. I don't have no, like, Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so the idea came for the business. I had the name and everything. And I was just like, I don't know how to get started. So brushed it off again. Fast forward to July. I think it was July. Yeah. Fast forward to July.
Around that time.
Yeah, it was around that time.
Give or take a month,
Yeah. Fast forward to July, and it's like, I think you and I were talking about something in regards to business. And I was like, I had this business I wanted to get started, but I tried to do it online. I tried to find out the steps. I tried to read up on it and figure out what to do. It intimidated me, so I was just like, whatever, and I gave up. This guy right here.
Oh, man.
Shantae Darby was like, we actually had just recorded the episode of Free Thinkers.
Yep. Urban City Radio
Mixtape.
Yeah. And shout out to Free Thinkers Radio.
Definitely.
If you already subscribe to Free Thinkers Radio, you will know that Urban City Mixtape is on Free Thinkers Network, and The Black Couch is on the Free Thinkers Network. There you go. Feel free to thank freely. Cool. So
throw that plug in there.
I know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it was after an episode that we did with that, which even me being on that is crazy. But I was talking to you and I was telling you, I don't even know how we got on the subject, but I was
I
like,
think it was the LLC that was real complicated.
Right. And
Like,
but that was the thing, like just get started with that part.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh no, just go and do this and this. It's not hard. I was like, I'm telling you, it is. I sat down for hours one day trying to read up on how to do this, and he ran through the whole process, like literally in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's like, all you need is the money. Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
So I think it was like maybe a couple of days later. I went home, sat down,
Got the LLC,
went through everything, went through all the steps, paid for it. I got it established. It was like, like a weight lifted, And I even kept it to myself because in my mind, I'm thinking I'm gonna build on some things first, get some things in order, and then I'll release it that hey, I have a business, Right. But what happened was, I was serving on the sound ministry at my church, and Pastor Marsha was preaching, and she said. She was preaching on New Beginnings. So this was like August, first Sunday in August.
Gotcha.
Just her whole message pretty much had my baby leaping on the inside. So it's like, man. So I just posted the picture about the certificate for me getting the business. And within an hour of me posting that, one of my I don't even know what to call her. I don't know if I should call her. I guess I call her my sister. I guess because but she's so encouraging. Like I don't even know. She's like a friend, like a sister. She's definitely business connoisseur. I guess if you could say that. But she hit me up and said, "So grand opening." I was like, "What?" I don't have no building, what I'm saying? Right. She's like, what? That don't mean nothing, it's a celebration, Right. She's like, so, I think you should do a business launch party. She was like, I was thinking about doing one, and making it surprise, but she's like, I know your schedule is like all over the place. Right. So there's no surprising you. But
I got to schedule this thing.
Right. Yeah. She's like, I got to hit her up and see how we can do this. So she did that. She offered her, shout out to Tiffany Styles, by the way. She offered her shop, her establishment as a place to hold the business launch party. And they pretty much jumped that off for me. And from that point, from her offering that, it's like floodgates open. People started sending money to me to invest through Cash App, PayPal. People would just see me and just hand me money. Holy handshakes.
No, for sure.
And at the party, I had a lot of people give money. And then after that, I had at the party, one of the guys there, David, his name was Regal. His artist name is Regal. But he offered to give me a microphone. And he said, and I didn't even know him prior to that day. So that was the crazy part. But he offered to give me a microphone. He was like, are you believing God for your own recording equipment? And I said, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I said, I am actually. And, he's like, okay, I got you. He was like, link up with me. I'll get your address. We'll do that. So I was like, man. So that was at the event. After that, I think I posted.
Yeah.
And then Darby again hits me up. And you offered to give me the shop mount and the mic stand.
Oh yeah. I had extra mic stand.
Yep.
So did.
So I got that, and then after that. I don't even remember what was next.
I think somebody bought you either interface or a mixer or something like that.
No, that was.
Oh, you ended up buying that. Somebody bought something.
I bought that with the money somebody gave.
Oh, I got you. I
had headphones. Oh, my mom got me some headphones. That's what it was. So at this point, I had the mic, had the mic stand, all that, the headphones, the little vocal shield that goes. Somebody sent me that, and they're from upstate.
Wow.
Sent me that. Ended up getting the mixer, the pop filter, and the Pro Tools. I got Pro Tools. Ended up getting that, the software from my grandparents. They had given me some money to help give me a boost. So it was just crazy. I ended up with a full recording studio within a matter of like 3 weeks.
Man, and that's what that's what I want people to like really understand that like when you have a vision or to do something,
Mm-hmm.
like make one step.
Yeah.
Especially when God give you something, like just make one step and see how that thing grow. Like don't be apprehensive and don't think that because you don't have everything or you might not have the money for everything that you don't have to get started.
Right.
You know. So
if God puts that vision in you and He placed it in you, He's gonna make sure He sees it to the completion. So it's like I didn't really have to do much. I just posted about it.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I mean, it's just crazy.
As well,
God,
I mean,
God did that.
you confess even when it's almost like how in the scriptures where Jesus was past the lame man. It was like, do you believe you can be made whole? And it's like, yes, I believe. Now you can walk. So
Your
the same
faith
thing for
made
you.
you
Yeah,
whole.
my man was like, are you believing God for you to have a studio?
Right.
Yes. And that was
because I'm like
I
still think about it. I'm like, imagine if I would have. Because what was in me, what's in me normally, naturally, when somebody offers me something, I'm like, oh, no, that's okay. So I'm like, imagine if I would have did that night. If I would have been like, no, you don't have to do that. Which you don't have to do it, but I'm glad I opened my mouth. I'm like, I am, actually. But that, honestly, when I started the business, it wasn't, I didn't have studio at the forefront. Some things I wanted to get in order before I even revealed the fact that I had a business. I was thinking like, what services would I offer? I wanted to get promotional materials together and all of that. But it's crazy that it didn't happen in that order. And so it's almost like, okay, now when I got that equipment, I don't know if I shared this with you. I know I was talking to somebody else about it, but it's like I got all the equipment. And once I had everything, I was like, okay, God, what am I supposed to be doing now? Like, you blessed me with all this equipment. I had been saying I want my own recording studio one day. It's here. Now what? So it's like, you want me to record other people? You want me, is this for me? Because I record so much and I spend all this money in studio time and all that. So it's like, and so I had a brief period where I was like, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. Then randomly, like I had people hit me up to ask to come through the studio. And it's like, you sure? I ain't got everything together. I don't have like a real recording studio where, all the stuff around.
Extravagant.
Like, no, And I'm like, man, so it's just like God basically was telling me like, use what you have. You start where you are. And, so I'm like, okay. I'm a work. God has been helping me. I've asked for wisdom in regards to getting better with mixing and things like that. So I'm like, I'm working on that.
A continual process,
definitely. But studio recording, I've been doing that. I've been recording my own songs. I'm working on another project now. So it's like, whereas in the past I've spent so much money in recording time and things like that for my own project. Now I have the access to just, and then talk about the having a side hustle. Somebody want to come through and record.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Cierra House story. As we know it as today. We're going to check up on Cierra House in a few, to see how things are going with the studio and what God led you to do. But I appreciate you for really sharing this story, and I hope it really help somebody to get started.
I appreciate you for having me on.
Dope.
The Black Couch.
Dope.
Yeah, definitely.
Dope. How can we hear your music? Because I know you mentioned you have music out there.
So outside of hitting me up personally, I have physical copies of my CDs, but it's available on all digital outlets. TuneCore is my distribution company. But iTunes, Google Play, you won't find the album on SoundCloud, but I have a lot of music on SoundCloud.
Cool. What's the handles? Like how I can get to it?
Cierra Blessed in the House. Everything. Cierra Blessed in the House. Cierra is Cierra. Blessed Enda is BLESSED, the letter N, and then DA, and then house.
Make sure I put the link in the description to all the social media outlets and where you can find her music and everything. And Blessed in the House Entertainment is the same. Like that's the business name. But got you.
Blessed in the House Entertainment, all social media. I'm still working on promotional stuff for that. So
Gotcha.
pages are under construction.
Look.
But
if you can help out with any of this that she needs, our faith is still there. Same thing for the Black Couch. If you want to contribute to the Black Couch, definitely do.
Yeah.
We're taking all applicants, anybody, anything that you feel like the Black Couch need, anything you feel like Cierra need that you can help with, feel free. Definitely feel free. Links in the description. And that's gonna be it, man. We appreciate you for watching and listening and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Shout out to Shantae Darby.
Thank you.
He's dope. Black Couch is dope. Everything you're doing is dope.
Oh, bless the Lord. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening by way of, if you're watching on YouTube or the blackcouch.org, or if you are listening on an audio podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or either Google Play. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Drop a like, drop a comment if you like the comment. And also, definitely if you want to donate to the Black Couch, we have Cash App, which is $Black Couch. Definitely donate to our cause so that we can bring more people to the platform, so that we can upgrade some of the ideas and stuff that we have for the rest of the year. So thank you again for tuning in, and can't wait to see you next week.